welcome, Bashirah Bello. It's been a pleasure meeting you recently, and I'm so glad that we're having this interview. So thank you so much for coming on the show to have this interview with me. I really appreciate
Thank you.
that. Okay, so
Thank you.
first we have Bashirah Bello in the house. She is the founder of Murabiyahholistics. It's an alternative and holistic health service. She's going to tell you all about that. She's going to break it down to us like A, B, C, D. So wait for it. She's also a certified hijama cupping therapist. She's a pelvic steaming facilitator and mesotherapy practitioner. She's also a trainer, the lead trainer at the Murabiyah Cupping Academy. Wow, that's a whole lot. Thank you. Now, I remember that when I first heard about this, I was curious. Like, cupping, vaginal steaming or pelvic steaming. Okay, I know that when women put to bed, that's when we do it, but I didn't know it had far-reaching consequences like that if you're having some issues and you don't sort it out with that. So tell me, what is all about cupping? What is it about pelvic steaming? What is it about hijama? I know you said something about hijama. So yes, please let us know what does all that mean?
Okay. Thank you, Bukola, for having me here. I really appreciate that we are giving awareness to women out there. So as Bukola has said, I am the founder of the Murabiyahholistics Health Center. It's an alternative health center. And hijama cupping therapies is the major service that we offer there. It's a service that we use to treat people of all kinds of diseases. However, what I'm here to talk to you about tonight is about pelvic steaming, which is also known as vaginal steaming. So just like Bukola said, it is a popular therapy that people do after delivery, after they've had a baby. That's how it's popular in this part of the world. However, in other parts of the world, vaginal steaming is a therapy, a ritual, sort of, that every woman does in places like Asia, places like the Mexico, Malaysia, all of these places, they do this therapy to help women in various ways that I'm going to be mentioning tonight. So one of the major ones that I've been helping women with is vaginal infections. So vaginal infections occurs in 8 out of every 10 women. Most women have vaginal infection.
Wow.
Funny enough, many of us have it and we don't even know that we have it. So vaginal infections, which are commonly called in the medical time, is called vaginitis. This vaginitis is caused by an imbalance in the bacteria or fungi or the virus that is located at the vagina. Naturally, the vagina has its own microflora, which is microorganisms that are supposed to be there. But because of the use of certain things like using soap to wash that place, like douching, like using tampons, and some other activities that we do in our lifestyle, there's an imbalance in that area. The kind of food we eat also affects that area. So because of all these things, many women have vaginitis. And these vaginitis can be either in 4 ways. It could be an overgrowth of bacteria. It could be an overgrowth of virus, commonly called HPV. HPVs, also known as EPS. These EPS, it comes in forms of boil. You find that some women, they will have boil and what underneath there, especially after shaving. Then the third
Do you mean
one
on the
is
vagina area
on the
or
vagina,
on the
on the
skin?
vagina, on the labia, the lips,
Okay.
the labia of the vagina.
Okay.
So the other one, the third one is an overgrowth of fungi, or the one we call yeast, the
Okay.
one that women have, this candida.
Yes.
So this candidiasis, when women have it, they will start having discharge, whitish discharge. They will start having itching, is the one that really comes with itching. Then they might have cheesy-like discharge that will be yellowish in color or whitish in color. It will be like cheese. You know, the regular cheese that we buy in the market. That's the one that it looks like. So those are the three ones. Then the fourth one is majorly chlamydia. This chlamydia mostly comes when people have gonorrhea. It's an STD that is passed from having multiple partners or having very unhealthy sexual relationships. So these major ones, all these four ones that I have mentioned, the one that actually brings out discharge and cause itching and discomfort is the candida. When people have the other ones, apart from a fishy smell that comes from the one that is the bacteria that is overgrowing, they don't know. All they will notice is a dryness in their vagina. And this makes sex very painful. These women are so shy, or they don't even know they have this thing. They will be having painful sex and they will keep pretending as if everything is all right. So the best way for them to get rid of this thing, apart from taking antibiotics that they are usually prescribed at the hospital, the best way they can do it at home is by doing vaginal steaming. Vaginal steaming has two major functions. The first is to dislodge, meaning to remove anything that is attached to the reproductive system of a woman, or to drain, like to bring them out. So if these things are attached, it will dislodge them, then it will drain them. So what we have found is that when people do vaginal steaming, they stop getting menstrual cramps. They stop getting ovulation cramps. They stop having clots in their menstruation. They cure their infection by themselves at home. Really simple process.
Wow.
So they also have tighter vagina because some women have loose vagina after delivery. So with doing vaginal steaming regularly, the vagina comes back to its actual position. Funny enough, do you know vaginal steaming reduces belly fat?
Are you kidding me?
Oh yes, I'm not kidding you. I'm really
Belly
serious.
fat. Hey.
Yes, it reduces belly fat. It helps women that have bloating, people who have indigestion, constipation, even when you have diarrhea or when you have hemorrhoids. There are several women who, when they get pregnant, at the tail end of their pregnancy, they start to get hemorrhoids because of the weak pelvic floor. So vaginal steaming can actually help them to heal the hemorrhoid and it will vanish. So this thing is so important in the lives of every woman out there.
Wow.
And people don't know about it. Although some
Wow.
people think it is the same thing as sit bath. There's a one they call
Yeah.
sit bath that you
Yes.
soak the pubic area into warm water. This one is not
Warm.
sit bath. This one is the
Hello.
it is steaming that you need just the steam, the medicinal steam that comes from
Hello.
in water, whole.
Okay, please take that again. It's like the network just fluctuated at that point, and you are still freezing.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
okay.
Mhm.
How
So
about now?
yeah, it's better now. So you said it's about steaming. So does that
Yes,
mean that there are some things that are in the water apart from the water? There are some herbs you put in the
yes.
water.
You can do
Okay.
vaginal steaming using ordinary water,
Mm-hmm.
like
Okay.
just ordinary water. That one improves your sleep. That one also makes you feel better. It's like a self-care practice. Just boil
Oh,
water on the fire.
self-care practice.
Yes, it's a self-care practice because women, we need warmth to feel good. That's why when you go to for spa or you go to the sauna, there's a different feeling that women have after going to the sauna.
Mm,
We need
mm,
warmth. So
mm,
the steaming that comes from the water, you can just squat over it and just absorb the steam. That one
mm.
is a simple one you can do at home. But if you have an infection or you are suffering from menstrual problems, or you have a loose vagina, or there's hemorrhoid, now you need herbs. These herbs will be cooked in the water, then you squirt over the water. But these days, things have been made really simple. You just need to get a stool, a vaginal steaming stool. You can find it anywhere on Amazon, on eBay, it's all over the place now. Even here in Nigeria, everywhere is made by the local furniture makers. It's a very simple thing to get. And all you need to do, instead of squatting and getting tired, just put the bowl of hot steaming herb and you sit over it and you enjoy. You can get a book to read and enjoy just your me time. Make sure that nobody is disturbing you. And I find that when I do it for my clients or I tell them to do it at home, they tell me that, oh, they don't want to stop. They wish they can just be there for so long. Like,
oh, that's interesting. So the stool, is it personal? Like it has to be you, it cannot be shared.
You can share it actually. You just need to clean it. Just maintain proper hygiene. You clean before you use and you clean after use. You can
Oh
use
yeah, definitely.
a cleaning agent that you can use for surfaces. Just use it to clean it and you
Okay.
use it. I have the ones I use for women, which is a public one. I use for commercial purpose. What we do is after cleaning, we use fresh new towels on top of it, so that after the client gets up, we either dispose the towel or we clean the towel under high heat for the next client. So
Okay.
depending, if you use a disposable towel, we dispose it. But if we
Oh,
use a cotton towel, we just wash under high heat. But
mm,
you can share your stool. It's something that you
mm.
can share.
So I'm wondering, why is this not popular? Because I'm saying that from from this dimension, because I know for bras too, I know that we have to make women aware that okay, there are physical, emotional, psychological sides, even social sides to if add effects to not wearing the right bra for the right occasion. Right, some women don't take on some careers because of that alone. Just that at my breast, I don't have enough support. So we find that even though all of us women, we don't go out without bras, and most of us, let me say most of us women, we don't go out without thinking about our bras or something, yet we still find a lot of ignorance and lack of awareness in that area in terms of living healthier. So would you speak to why this is not so much more aware, apart from the fact that, oh, when you have a baby, you do sit baths and that's it.
Okay. So about why it is not popular, it's just the singular reason that natural medicine has become less popular because on Western we rely on Western medicine.
Right.
So the Western medicine has taken away the freedom from us and has made us to rely on medication. So when you visit a doctor, the doctor listens to your symptoms and then gives you drugs. So when the doctor gives you drugs or advise you on a kind of lifestyle change, we depend on that drug. We don't take charge of our lives any longer. We've been made to depend on drugs and depend on doctors. It's just the example of when people have headaches. They are so used to when they go to the doctors, they'll be given paracetamol. So naturally, in this part of the world, people just go to the pharmacy and buy paracetamol. None of us sit down to look at it. Why am I having a headache? What are the natural ways I can get rid of this headache? The first thing that comes to us is paracetamol because we've been conditioned to rely on medicine. We rely so much on it. We don't think that I can have a headache because I'm stressed. I can have a headache because I've not had enough sleep. I can have a headache because I use glasses. My glasses are due for renewal. People get headaches
Yeah,
because of people
yeah.
have headache because of hormonal imbalance,
Dehydration. Yes, yes.
dehydration, several reasons why people can get headache. So we don't look into, okay, should I take more water? Okay, do I need more sleep? Or is it that I need to get my glasses or I need to change my glasses? Or is it that I'm worried about something I shouldn't be worried about? Or none of us go to the extent of thinking, okay, let me just get peppermint oil and lavender and just diffuse it and just lie down and my headache will be gone. Most of us don't do that. So it is recently that awareness started to grow about people seeking natural remedies to illnesses. So this thing, although it's an ancient therapy and it's been here for long, is not popular because of this reason that I just mentioned, and because it's something that these days we are so much of a push on things that have to do with the vaginal health, reproductive health. People don't really want to talk about things like this. It's not something that we want to say outside. So there are many people that benefit from this. They don't even tell it to their friends or their sisters. They just secretly benefit from it, and we all need it.
Oh,
So
and we are
we are
taking the message out. Yeah.
yes, now our own duty is to educate the populace that vaginal steaming is a traditional old therapy that is still working. It worked for our mothers, our foremothers, and is working more than taking just a pill. So because
Mm.
by the time you start to do vaginal steaming, it works for emotional health too.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it works
Oh,
for
yeah.
emotional health. The way it works is because our womb stores emotion. In
Mm.
mesotherapy, I was trained to know that our womb stores all the negative emotions that we have. So when you get betrayal, your womb stores it. When you have sadness, your womb stores it. Shame, guilt, anger. So the only way you can get it out is by vaginal steaming. It's the
Wow.
only way. So that's why when some clients come to us when they just broke away from a toxic relationship, and they tell us that they start to heal after doing sessions of vaginal steaming. It's
Wow,
that
that is absolutely amazing. You know, you
even
just
yeah,
validated something for me now. Like all these things on the outside, it just opens the door to who we are really.
exactly.
You know, it doesn't end with wearing a good dress or having a good hairstyle. It touches to the center of our femininity and our
Yes,
well-being, which is why this is a
yes.
very interesting topic. Please go on, Zad. I didn't mean to cut you like that. Just that was just
Okay,
a
so the feminine energy grows with heat and with flow. So when a woman needs to build her confidence, which is where I really want us to pinpoint about this talk tonight, is that our confidence grows when we are able to tap into our femininity. And one of the ways that our mothers, our foremothers, were able to tap their own femininity was through vaginal steaming and other self-care routines. So most of
Mm.
the time, women think that the only self-care routine they can do is just to um, have a beauty treatment like body scrubbing, going to the spa, having a massage. By the time you add vaginal steaming to it, because our vagina is the powerhouse of our femininity,
Yeah.
you grow in this confidence. You can stand up tall. You feel
Wow.
good.
Yes.
Imagine when a man has sex with his wife and is telling her that, wow, your your vagina is like honey, like
Wow.
it's tight and it's juicy. Because vaginal steaming makes you
Wow.
lubricate more and it makes you tight. It helps the muscles down there to be really
Wow.
tight and it
Wow.
makes you juicy. So, that alone helps a woman to grow in confidence. Like, excuse me, I am sure of myself. I know that I have some power down there. So it
Mm.
increases the confidence of every woman, especially because she gets time to rejuvenate. Because energy flows with warmth, with steam, with heat. So when
This
she's
is so good.
absorbing this heat, her energy levels rise and she's able to go ahead, raise her head high up and do so much in life. I've had
Oh,
clients do vaginal steaming and they tell me they got more productivity in their work. They
wow.
are happier. They
This
take
is so
things
good.
easier.
Get me one right now. This is so good. Whoa.
So it's a really good therapy that
Mm.
we also learn to do at home. It's very
Yeah.
simple to do. It's not hard at all. Very, very simple to do.
You
So we
mentioned
really
this
need
for
to tap into
self-care,
it.
right? Yeah.
Yes, for self-care. So what I tell my clients to do is you do it every week. So I do it every week. You have a steaming seat at home. If you don't have one, you can just squat. It's okay. The only reason why I don't like the squatting is you get so tired after like 5, 10 minutes. But with the seat, you can stay as long as 30 minutes.
Okay.
So you sit over the seat, put your steaming water under the seat, and you get a book. I tell people don't use your phone during that time because our phone has releases a lot of radiation. And because vaginal steaming is not just a physical therapy, it's also an emotional therapy. You want to connect with yourself. So
I
you don't want
understand that.
any kind of external phone usually gives us this
Yeah.
external effect. So you want to
Yes, I
put
get
away
that.
your phone. And I noticed that when people put away their phone, they connect deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Although people were like, oh no, let me have my phone. I'm like, no, you can't have your phone. Just have this 30 minutes time off from the whole world. Leave this time for yourself and just be silent. And it's really powerful.
Wow,
It's
this is so,
really,
so
really
exciting.
powerful. I see
This,
people finish vaginal steaming and they tell me, I just had an idea of a business I can do. Because
wow, wow.
silence is powerful. And the way this world is going, we don't have time for silence. We are either pressing our phones or we are watching TV or we are doing this. This can be the only time you are going to be thinking of yourself alone, just you,
Mm.
and you tap into your inner power.
That's great. That's great, which makes me curious. I love this. This is so good. Like, this is so good. So I
Thank you.
love this part about self-care. Yes. And you said that when you tap, a woman's confidence grows when she taps into her, when she's able to tap into her feminine energy, right? Is that what
Yes,
you said?
yes,
Yeah. So I've been reading some things about feminine energy of late, and I'm like, okay, this is something we can actually pay attention to. It's not one
yes.
esoteric thing that we can't understand. But this makes me curious. So there was a time I heard a lot about Kayamata. I'm not hearing so much about it now, maybe because I may not be in that
Cycle.
environment. Yeah, because I'm here. So, but I don't know how popular Kayamata still is. But this seems like a very good, for lack of a better word, alternative to Kayamata.
Yes. Why I don't propagate kaya matter is because most of this kaya matter, apart from the fact that it could be diabolic, sometimes they tell them to do practices that are against nature. Nature does not like you to insert things into the vaginal space.
Hmm.
So most of all this kaya matter, they tell them to insert or what not because they want the vagina to be tighter, sweeter, juicy, and all that. They tell them to insert different things. They tell them to eat so many things. And recently, it was found that some of those things contain things like cocaine, heroin,
Mm.
because they really have to mix some things together to make the woman really high and all of that. So, but this one is purely nature, just herbs. They are just herbs or ordinary water. You can use ordinary water and salt. Some people need ordinary water and apple cider vinegar. It's that simple. It's not something that is so
Wow.
much. Just a simple
Wow.
procedure that you just do at home. For a
Mm.
woman that just had a baby, we tell them to use salt and ordinary water. In fact, this thing was done by our grandma. My own grandmother told me that it's recently that people started doing this Dettol, hot water, and salt. That during their own time, they will use a paint bucket, they will make boiling water, they will add salt, and they will sit over this paint bucket such that the bomb will not touch the water. They will only have the heat. So
Mm-hmm.
that's vaginal steaming. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. It's the same
Mm-hmm. Is
thing.
that
It's
not what they call
vaginal
sit bath?
steaming.
Sit bath? Is that
That's
not?
not sit back. The sit back, you sit inside the water. But this
Oh,
one, you just get only the steam. This one is like this steam inhalation that we do for our babies when they have blocked nose.
yeah. But that's what I know. I was thinking, oh, okay. I was thinking that was what's called sit bath. Oh, okay.
No, no,
So
no, no.
people
They
do
are
people
two
actually
different
sit
things.
in warm water?
They sit inside the warm water.
Okay.
Such that the bum area, their pelvic, the vaginal, the anus, everything will be inside the water.
It.
But for
Okay.
vaginal steaming, you only need the steam, just the steam. So you get the benefits from the therapeutic steam coming from the herb or from just ordinary water. So that's the difference. And it's a very good alternative to going for kaya matter. You don't have to start putting something that most of this kaya matter, you don't know what they are mixing together. And people just take it with hope that they will not hurt themselves taking it.
Yeah, because like we have established, is lack of awareness to not knowing and thinking that is the solution, right? Because for me, because I studied chemistry, so I know those things have alkaloids in them that are dangerous, like when you ingest them and things like that. But it seemed to be like a good idea, and except that I now heard that it's addictive as well. I'm like, if it's addictive, then and you have to use it all the time, maybe not so healthy. So what happens when you run short of supply, or nobody is on drugs for so long? So it seemed like something like, that you have to do with that. I'm like, it can't be that women would have to subject themselves to this, and especially that other people can also take advantage of it. So
and
I
at
don't think
some point,
basis.
it even gets to the level where the one you are using doesn't work for you anymore. You have to go for a higher grade.
Yeah,
I don't know if you follow them on IG.
So that's it then. It's addictive. There was something in it that is making it like, because when your body develops is it a resistance or
Exactly,
to
resistance.
that level, then you have to keep going. And that is how addictions with substance, is that what they call it? Substance drugs. That's how addiction is, right? You keep going further down. And so I see no basis for comparison between kaya matter and a vaginal steaming, especially that self-care. It's a self-care, like self-care tip, which I always love to like hear about. Like, this is another self-care tip. Yes, I know wearing a good bra is a good self-care tip. Yes, I know wearing good dresses is a good. Yes, I know doing your facials is a good. Yes, so this one is like
another
a best kept secret. Like another best kept secret for women. And I'm like, hey, why aren't we so much into this? Like, what will it take, or what do you think women should do in that? Because this awareness is not a lot. I know maybe in the eastern part of the world, maybe this is part of the culture. Okay, so in Nigeria,
part of our culture too, but it's going into extinct in our own culture.
Okay,
it's not the only one going into extinct. I learned about belly binding. There's something called belly binding. This belly binding is done along with vaginal steaming when people have their babies.
Babies, yes, I know.
If you remember, normally people tie their bellies after babies. It's going into it. These days, I find so many younger women not doing it any longer. They're like, they're fine. There's nothing. Oyinbo does not do it, and people are just like that, But just like belly binding is going to extinction, and backing your baby has an effect on your baby and yourself for your womb to go back to its original size. But all of these things, we were not told the effect. We just know that our mothers used to do it, and we felt that today is the modern day. We shouldn't do all of that. All these things started to go into extinction. Most people don't back their babies any longer. They basically use baby carriers. People don't tie their bellies any longer. People don't do vaginal steaming. They've changed it to sit bath. And all these things are going into extinction because we feel that we are getting modern, we are getting more civilized. Whereas these are the things that can help us most. These are the things that can help us to become better women than we are currently. Because the way things are going, we are losing out on the culture. Every part of the world had it. Yes, and our health is suffering. Yes, our wellness is suffering for it. So this is an awareness for us to get back to this natural healing therapy.
Okay, so let's land this plane, right? So what would you tell an average modern day woman right now who doesn't not just doesn't see the need for it, who is not just even aware.
Okay,
How can
so
you
there's
get that
a
person curious? Like, pay attention,
okay,
girl,
so
pay attention.
to get back into the modern day woman out there today. So my message for you is that vaginal steaming is our God-given practice that has origins all over the world. And we've been ripped off from it because the Western medicine wants to exchange this for their own drugs. And as we all know, all drugs have side effects and they don't take us to the destination that we want to. However, vaginal steaming is something that you should start doing because it erases root cause of reproductive health issues, all sorts of reproductive health issues. It makes you a better woman. It helps you heal both physically and emotionally. So it is something that you should start doing. For more information about it, you can check out my page on IG at Murabiyahholistics, or you can visit from my page, you can visit my website. There's a lot of information on it. Even if you go to Google, there's so much information about vaginal steaming, but because we were not aware about it, we didn't know that this existed. And on YouTube, several search channels and engines that you can find out about this simple therapy that is really, really very good. Women should start it from when they have started menstruation. I have a 13-year-old that does vaginal steaming as a practice, not because she has any reason, she's not married, she's nothing, just as a self-care practice, so that she can grow up to know that she deserves to have a me time. She deserves to put herself first. So this is us training little girls to know that they matter, they come first. So this is one thing you should add to your own routine. It's cheaper than getting all sorts of drugs. It's cheaper than looking for a way to boost your sex life. It's cheaper than looking for other alternatives to fertility. I didn't say much about it. It helps for fertility as well. It helps to open up blocked tubes. We use it for fibroids. It's a very powerful, simple but powerful.
Wow.
And thank you, Bukola, for raising this awareness. Thank
Wow.
you so much.
Wow. Wow. See, I'm just saying, wow, 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 wow. Like, wow, wow. This has to get out
Yes,
there.
it
This
has
has to get
to.
out there. And we're starting that campaign. Anything self-care for women, I'm in. Like, I'm in, because
Yes,
a better woman is a better family, is a better nation, is a
our
better
nation.
world. Yeah. So
Yes,
when we are strong, we can do things. We can sit and make decisions, from the position of strength, and help our
exactly.
families, help the next generation, help our peers, even our tribe. And I'm really going to share this with our tribe, and we're going to spread this word. Okay, so this is very, 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 very interesting. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, okay. So I know you wrote a book, okay, about this, which
Yes,
which I got as
yes,
well. So please, can you just talk a
yes.
little bit about the book as we wrap this up?
Okay, so this book is a guide to vaginal steaming. I wrote this book out of the fact that several women who hear about this vaginal steaming for the first time, they are usually very curious that what is this, what's pelvic steaming, what's vaginal steaming, and all of that. So it answers all the questions you might be having about vaginal steaming. It talks about what it does, how to do it, where it originated from, womb care practices, things that you can do to help yourself as a woman, explaining everything. It even tells you how to mix your own herbs. You don't need anybody to start forming fake for you or start making it look like there's a big secret out there. This is something you can simply do by yourself at home, anywhere in the world that you find yourself. You can mix the herbs, you can do it. Reading, getting this book will make you know what herbs to use for who, because there are different kind of women. There are different ages of women. We have the women that just started the period, the ones that have been doing their period, the ones that are in their reproductive age, and the one in menopause. Women in menopause use vaginal steaming to avail their menopausal symptoms like hot flash, night sweat, heat, and all of that, dry vagina, all these things. So this book is very important because it is just one book that has every information that you need about
Mm.
vaginal steaming in it.
Wow, that's so good. So, so good. Thank you so much, Bashira.
You're
Like I just need
welcome.
to sit and digest some of this information that you have shared today. And I know that we'll definitely be doing things together even beyond now. So we're going to invite you again and again. We're having an IG live this Saturday. And one of the things that I can't wait to tell people, like, self-care. There's another self-care tip that you don't know yet. So
That
let
you
me
don't
let you
know. There's
into
one
it.
secret.
So thank you so much
Yes.
for coming and having this interview with me. I really
Thank
appreciate
you
that
for
knowledge
having
shared and the
me.
awareness. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me here today. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome.